Biohazard.
Hello, everyone. Andy here from Biohazard Declassified. Thank you so much for tuning into the Biohazard Declassified podcast today. I'm extremely grateful. I have a very, very special guest on today. I have the man, the myth, the legend, the real Scotty Blades. How are you doing, Scotty? Please,
I'm doing fantastic, man.
Please introduce yourself to the people.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, I am the real Scotty Blades. This is, in fact, me. This is what the Situation Room looks like when you're not exposed inside of it. So almost like pulling the veil back a little bit. This is where all the magic happens. I'm a content creator on Facebook Gaming. I stream survival horror and adventure-style games, more variety than anything lately, which has been a ton of fun. I have an incredible community on Facebook Gaming called the League of Blades. It's a group where all heroes hang out together to do things all awesome. And that is the purpose and the mission and the goal of the League of Blades and of Scotty Blades, is to bring a smile every day and give a place for heroes to hang out and have fun.
And you have certainly been doing that well. And I think we were speaking off air. There is no better video that actually articulates who Scotty Blades is than the one we're looking at right here. let's have a little gander here.
Look at that proud posture.
Indeed, that's alpha energy.
Mm-hmm.
Pizza. Here at Scotty Blades for Hire, we are here to be hired for you to be a hero. Camera. Hi, I'm Scotty Blades, action hero for hire. Do you have a problem that needs a solution? Do you have a problem that needs a solution? Werewolves? Have some silver. Give me up! Zombies? Nothing that old boomer can't fix. Nazis? That's so 1942. Aliens? Get out of here off my earth. Taxes? Solve world hunger? It's pizza. Here at Scotty Blades Action Heroes for Hire, we got a problem for all your solutions. Which camera deck? No mission too big, no challenge too hard. I don't know what to do with my body in front of the camera deck. There's nothing that I can't handle. We're going to win it. We're going to win it.
Raised by a family of beavers, trained by a group of bald men that Scotty mistook as monks. Scotty Blades is trained to be the world's greatest action hero. Proficient in Changhua Fu. We've never heard of it either. Never misses, not even once.
Pick up the phone. Wait. Pick up the phone, keyboard, and contact us right now.
Absolutely glorious. Absolutely glorious. On that point then, what made you come up with such a unique brand in Scotty Blades? Give us a bit of backstory behind the character. And how long have you been doing this for? There you go.
Now I might be all right. Good. Yeah. So I guess you had to stop. See, I giggle at my own stuff. I can't help it. I'm sure I was giggling just as much as I could. The character, he's not a character. He's my alter ego. When the flannel comes off, you get Scotty last name redacted. When the flannel comes on, you get Scotty Blades. But Scotty Blades is So growing up as a kid, I was a huge fan of 80s action stars. We're talking Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're talking Sylvester Stallone, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and the rest of them. Bruce Willis, he was pretty cool, I guess. Chuck Norris. I mean, all of the badasses that were the alpha macho, hoorah, always saves the day, no matter what. Testosterone flying, bullets flinging, explosions. Huge fan of that. And when you had that, and then you had like the more lower following cult classic kind of movies like They Live with Rowdy Roddy Piper, and wrestling, the over-the-top shenanigans and dialogue and drama. Like, you'd watch a wrestling match and 14 minutes of it is them with a microphone talking trash about one another, and then like you get real hyped up, and then they come in and it's over. Like it's splatter fast. Somebody gets hit in the back of the head with a chair or whatever. So that all I wanted Scotty to be over the top. I wanted him to be just most. You can never doubt your heroes. You knew Arnold was going to pull through at the end of Predator. You knew that Sly was going to win in Rocky 2. You knew that Jean-Claude Van Damme was going to roundhouse kick that karate guy in Bloodsport, no matter the consequences, no matter going blind or in the movie or whatever. And that's what Scotty is. Scotty is just he's just all of that goodness, all of that hero goodness put together, heavily inspired by Ash Williams, which was my favorite movie growing up, was The Evil Dead Army of Darkness. So Ash had this kind of, he's a guy with a good heart, but like he smoked weed on the side and drank alcohol and screwed hookers in bathrooms or whatever. Just he always won at the end of the day, but to get there was a rocky road. And that's Scotty. Like Scotty will always, even if he misses 9 out of 10 shots and like shoots over top of their head several times or whips out his sword and the blade goes flying, all he's got the hilt, he'll still win. And that's kind of where the character of Scotty Blades kind of come from. Just a real mishmash of all that stuff together with my own little twisted spin to it.
Yeah, and you definitely get that vibe when we watch your streams. And on the point of streaming, why streaming? Why, for example, did you not just create content on YouTube, video demand content on YouTube, and just leave it there? Why specifically streaming?
So like in August or September of last year, I started on YouTube, and it was exactly like you said. It was VODs. It's little like 10 or 15 minute playthroughs of games. And when I was first researching into it, I was noticing that, I mean, it's a pretty saturated market, video game playthroughs and walkthroughs and stuff like that. You had to stand out. Well, I got the kind of brain to stand out. So I was like, how can I stand out? How can I be like different from anybody else? And Scotty Blades manifested, and he become part of me. I am Scotty Blades. That creative hoo-ha hero stuff. It's like I can stand out that way. So even though they were video gameplay videos on YouTube, they had a lot of skits in it. And I've always been a funny guy. I've always loved laughter. I've always loved making people laugh. I watched a lot of stand-up growing up. I've done a bunch of stand-up amateurly. I've done everything pretty much in my life in the real life. But I liked comedy, and I liked the opportunity to expand the comedy out in the virtual world, because true to my character, I didn't have social media till I was 31 years old. Like I spent my entire adult life not using a computer. I kicked indoors and chased bad guys in real life for my entire adult life. So whenever last year come around, I was like, I need a change. I need something. That lifestyle's too dangerous. I've got kids now. I've got families. I need to get out of that. So I had really squelched my creativity. I was a very creative kid. I used to draw comic books when I was a kid and read a lot of books. Scotty says book reading's for nerds, but reading's got me where I am today. I probably read a book a week, but reading's for nerds. Don't staying on brand here. Reading's for nerds. Whatever you do, don't be a nerd. Drink coffee, eat pizza, and kill evil. But the YouTube thing didn't take off as fast as I wanted it to. And that's going to happen. That's going to happen in content creation. That's just how it goes, because it's a very saturated market. But I missed the community aspect of doing that. Now, so YouTube videos are great. You can put them up and they're passive. But as far as actually building a community, and that's the number one reason why I still do what I do today. I love my community. I love the League of Blades. They're just the coolest group of people you will ever meet. And I was missing that with YouTube. So I started looking at Twitch, and I started looking at Mixer, and I started looking at Facebook. And Facebook was the most transparent of all the platforms as far as streaming, in the sense that I get to know the people that I'm streaming with, because your names are right there. Facebook has got your profile, and I know who you are. So when I see a name in chat or I see a name liking the stream, I know who you are. And that's personal, and that means a lot. And that's where that connection comes from. You don't get that from YouTube, and you don't get that from Twitch. So I started on Facebook, and I owe a lot of what I do. And I've said this 100 times during the show, and I've said this a million times behind the scenes when me and Andy have talked. I owe a lot of what I do to Andy, because when I was researching Facebook gaming, I wanted to see some survival horror streamers. And I jumped into one of Andy's streams way back in February or January of this year, and I was like, dude, this guy's good. I could be like that. So I started streaming on Facebook, mainly because, and you were the only streamer that I watched for the longest time, and so I started streaming on Facebook. I can do that, and it just so happened, I think it was you, Andy, but it might have been somebody else. But a Biohazard Declassified person from the brand here jumped into my stream when I had like 8 people watching, and said, "Hey," and I was like, "I did it. I hit the big time." That's all it was. They just said, "Hey." I was like, hell yeah, I hit the big time. So from that point on, the Facebook brand has grown, the channel has grown, the group has grown, the community has grown. I've made incredible friends here on this platform with other streamers. So yeah, that's kind of where the Facebook direction went from that point. I still do stuff on YouTube. I still do VODs and stuff, but there's nothing like the Facebook community here now. It's an incredible platform.
Oh, agreed. And that's why, I mean, obviously it goes without saying, that's why we kind of made Facebook gaming our home in a way. We've always tried to kind of venture out. I mean, we're starting to gain a little bit of traction on YouTube, but very much a similar story to yourself. Very hard to break through the algorithm. And I think with both of us actually have been very fortunate that we've engaged. We've got quite a reasonable sized community and already quite a niche community. So
right.
It's absolutely fantastic. I actually do remember the first time we spoke. Actually, I'm just trying to find the chat while you was full screening there. But you actually sent me, and what got me about you, I remember I was playing with Sushi Princess on Resident Evil 5. And you sent me a message. And you was like, "I'd love to do a collab with you at some point." And you sent me the Arnold Schwarzenegger, and do you know the handshake?
Yeah.
Yeah, from Predator, and you actually edited it, and that's what hooked me initially, because it was literally like, it was perfect. I was like, man, I've got to get involved with this guy. And it goes without saying, like, you've just been hitting stride for me, for my opinion yourself. Like you've just hitting stride after stride. You've just got the Facebook support button, which is an absolute nightmare to get on Facebook. It took us a long time, and it took you even longer. So it's one of them that you finally got that in the bag. And I suppose, what are your long-term aspirations for the Scotty Blades brand?
Honest to goodness, bigger. More. We need more heroes. The League of Blades has got to grow. Like I said, the number one mission, every single show, every single time that I go live, I just want to make somebody smile. And that's Scotty Blades, man. He says the stupidest stuff. And I am talking stupid with a capital stuff. But it's for a purpose. I want the home of Blades HQ to be just that, a home for people to go to. I want them to get out of bed and wake up and go, man, I need a smile today. I need to laugh. And they can jump onto the Scotty Blades Facebook page and look around and go, holy crap, if that cheered me up. I mean, and there's stuff they can talk about the rest of the day. So that I want to spread that influence. Every single day, the mission is to make one person laugh or smile. The bigger we get, that becomes 2 people a day that I can make smile, or 5 people a day that I can make smile. And then eventually Blades HQ, because it is a headquarters, Blades HQ will continue to grow and across other platforms. So YouTube, me and my team are making comic books and about Scotty Blades. We're doing ebooks about his adventures, like little 32-page ebooks about his adventures, stuff like that. So a lot of stuff in the work. I want to spread good, and I want it to be as big as possible. I want to reach as many people as possible, because the world sucks more often than not. It really does. But I can change that, and I can change that with a smile. And smile and laughter is contagious. So if I can affect one person like a zombie apocalypse, but I'm going to make it a smile apocalypse, and I'm going to make it a laugh apocalypse. And if I can spread enough laughs and enough smiles into the world, we can change a little bit of that suck and make it a little bit more hero happy related. So
talk to us about your team, about the team that's around you, the entourage, if you will, around Scotty Blades.
Yeah. So you mean Dak Daniels?
Of course I mean Dak Daniels.
Well, it's no surprise Dak Daniels is my wife. But at the same time, Jack Daniels is me. So I've got an incredible team of moderators, and the moderators do an incredible job of pushing the content out there whenever I can't do it all the time. But the main 2 spears to the head is me and my wife. And my wife's my manager and my networker, my producer, but 95 to 90% of it is me. And it's an all-day job. Like I am my own manager, my own producer, my own script writer, my own actor, my own tech. Andy's my tech more than not. Andy's got into my computer more than, hey, Boomer, this is how you fix it. Like, I got it. Hey, I got it. So it requires a team. So I've got a couple of childhood friends that I have grown up with that have been incredibly supportive and have been very helpful on creativity and networking and marketing and stuff like that. So it's me and my wife, a close-knit group of childhood friends that I grew up with, and my moderator team that's in there in the League of Blades. So that's the creative team behind the Scotty Blades show.
No, yeah, your wife is absolutely glorious, and this is another kind of point I wanted to cover. And I'm sure other content creators have the same issue. Inevitably, if you've got partners, if you've got significant others, it's that not they're not supportive, but streaming content creation, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time away from people. You can, like me, I sit, sometimes 3-4 hours a day, 4 or 5 times a week. That's an incredible amount of resource that you put into a project. It's almost like another full-time job I do. I mean, and it's glorious that your wife is so supportive. I mean, how does your wife cope with you for a start, and how does she and how does she cope with your rigorous streaming schedule?
So a lot of Scotty Blades is me. I'm a dum dum. I'm an idiot. I sing all the time. I walk through the house and I sing and I make up songs and I poke and prod and I make jokes, but all in good fun. But constantly, I'm trying to make people smile and laugh around the house. So my background is actually in law enforcement. So when I turned 21, I went into law enforcement and become a deputy sheriff in a small county. And then the career grew from that to where I eventually became a violent crimes task force officer on a special unit that worked violent crimes here on the East Coast of the United States. And I've traveled all over the East Coast, as far north as Maine, to Maryland, and Georgia, to Florida. I've been to Mexico to get people and bring them back for court, stuff like that. So that's what I did for 11 years. And that's why I wasn't around a computer much. I was riding around in tactical vans or undercover, working an armed drug trafficker case or whatever. And that was the unit that I was part of for years, is that I was part of we called it, we hunted the worst of the worst. So whoever the worst possible person that was out there doing bad, that's who we went after. We went after the firearms traffickers who were giving firearms to terrorists. We went after armed drug dealers who were fueling the streets with narcotics. We went after the people who did child-related crimes. I won't get too specific about that, but that's what our unit did for years. The most violent of the most violent people, well, that was who I chased after. And if you thought the streaming schedule that I got now was rigorous, with me putting in 12 to 14 hours a day, it paled in comparison to that style of life. And that style of life was a 2:00 phone call in the morning saying, "Hey, we need you out here. There's a guy barricaded inside of his house and he's shooting at his neighbors or whatever. And, hey, it's your responsibility to go in there and get him." As opposed to now, the only phone call you get 2:00 in the morning is when I text my wife saying, "Bring me toilet paper. I'm in the doo-doo pad and I need some poo-poo wipes," or whatever. So that she embraced it full force. Like, I'm home now, and I wasn't home for 11 years. For 11 years, I was all over the country, working all hours of the night, gone 3 or 4 days at a time or whatever. But I'm home now, and I'm home all the time. My office is right here inside of my house. It's all inclusive right here. She embraced it because I'm safer. I'm here with her and the kids all day. Then there's not that never knowing if she's ever going to see me again. Because also part of that job that I had, that I was a lead. I was the commander on a tactical team. But when you think tactical, you think SWAT team, you think Navy SEALs and stuff like that. Well, we did that stuff domestically. And we were trained in special weapons and tactics and entries and high-risk warrants, stuff like that. And I led from the front, just like Scotty Blades does. I wouldn't make the League of Blades do anything that I wouldn't do, so I bumbled my way to victory. Well, I bumbled my way through a lot of stuff in real life. So a lot less now getting – but anyway, I led from the front. So I was always the first person through every door and always the last person out, no matter what. Didn't matter where rank and file I was in my unit. I wasn't going to send nobody in there that I wouldn't do. So no matter how dangerous or how much firepower the guy or the gal had, I went in first. And that's very dangerous. So I don't have to worry about that anymore. And I've lost track of what I was talking about because the Scotty just popped in my head.
Yeah, I suppose, well, just picking up on that point, I suppose it's almost the lesser of two. I'm not saying your wife doesn't like you streaming, of course. So I don't want to put words in your mouth to lead the witness.
Is that true?
But it's more so it's the lesser of two evils. At the end of the day, you've got your kids around you,
Yeah.
you've got your family around you. And my off air of the Scotty Blades and the Biohazard Declassified streams, you know, you can very much tell you're a family man. You absolutely love your children. You love your children's pieces. Just I don't expect you to, you know, dox your children or anything like that, but just give us a bit of, you know, background about your family, really, because I just think this is such a fascinating setup you got. I really do.
So we've been through a lot of ups and downs together as a family, but the family started younger. Like me and my wife are high school sweethearts, and that's very old school 80s action hero kind of a thing. But we stuck it out, and we still love each other very much, and we're stronger than we've ever been before. But we started out having kids younger. So I got a daughter who's in her mid-teens, and then I have a son who is 8 years old. But when I first got that assignment in my violent crimes task force in 2016, unfortunately, my son was diagnosed with cancer. And I've always said anything but my kids. You can shoot at me, you can stab me, you can beat me up, and that's all happened. I've been shot, stabbed, and beat up several times. Just don't mess with my kids. And one of my kids got messed with. And he's very precious to me. So 2016 went by, and we spent the whole year in the hospital. And I lost a lot of my job stuff during that time. And then 2017, we spent a lot of time in the hospital then too. And then we got back on track in 2018. And it's been all good since then. But yeah, he's a lot better now. He don't have it no more.
Oh, you're fucking making me tear up.
It's tough. I don't even like talking about it because
oh my god,
it's a tough time. But that's why video games cured a lot of that for us. It really did. When he was hurting and I was hurting, we had video games together, and that's why I decided to do making a smile every day and a laugh, because it come from that. Yep.
Yeah, and it goes without saying that, and this has been a massive thing for streaming in general. Is that, you know, it can be a very hard life, but for that hour and a half, 2 hours that you stream, you're bringing laughter to people, you're bringing happiness to people, and it detracts from the chaos that is the real world. And yeah, I know obviously it means a lot to you. That even one viewer tuning in, you know, one person taking the time out of their day to
video games done so much to heal our family. It took us away from all the crap going on in the outside world, and nothing's like the outside world still sucks. I mean, it's real bad, man. There's all sorts of crazy crap going on, and the world's upside down with the pandemic and riots and all sorts of crazy stuff going on. Well, you don't have to worry about that when you put on a video game and you get with all your pals. You don't have to worry about that no more. None of that stuff matters anymore. You're here with what you love. Like with Resident Evil, it's been an incredible series for me. I never played them. I mean, I didn't get to play games much when I was growing up, other than Nintendo stuff. But Nintendo, I'm a huge Mario Zelda guy, by the way. But I got to experience those for the first time now, and the community that come from that, it's like, wow, this is an incredible series. I am so engrossed in the Resident Evil series now. I do, when I'm not streaming, I'm looking up stuff. Now Scotty acts silly because he don't like nerd stuff, and his brain don't work so good because he gets punched by giants and trolls and stuff. But real Scotty has done a lot of, I mean, the series is incredible. Now I'm getting into the Silent Hill stuff, and the Silent Hill is incredible. So yeah, video games, that's video games heal. Video games give you a platform in a community. Get away from that crap. And that's exactly what we do here at Scotty Blades Show.
Oh, of course. And I know you said in the past that you was very, very, again, you wasn't, you know, you got social media when you was 31.
31. Yeah.
So you almost like these classic games that we played in our teens and we played when we was a lot younger. You're in the very unique position.
Yeah.
That this is your first time experiencing them, which just for me, you know, Resident Evil 2, the older Resident Evils, I would love to just wipe my memory and go back and play them for the first time and you know, experience all of it for the first time, knowing what I know now. So you're in a position where that is now. And I think that's absolutely amazing. What has been your favorite kind of game from Resident Evil, or even moment from Resident Evil so far?
So going along kind of with the Scotty Blades character, I don't even like taking days off. Like now I take days off. I take a Sunday off because, as you know, Andy, there's a lot that goes into keeping your show up and running. There's a lot that keeps your show looking professional. And when you're streaming, I've been pushing my time lately. I've been doing between 5 and 8 hours a day, trying to, and doing some afternoon stuff with some other streamers to try to, because we're all a team. And I'm here because you helped me. And I want to help other streamers because that's what you give back what you get. So I'm trying my best to help a bunch of them. So on Sundays, I try to work on the show the best that I can. But I miss the stuff that I create with my community, because the very first Resident Evil I ever played was 2, way back when. And then we played 7, and then I played Resident Evil 0 for some reason. I don't know how that ended up being that way, but that's how it worked. And me and my community together, we created characters. Of course it's Billy Cohen. We know it's Billy Cohen, but now it's Billy Can't Throw. And it's a running joke because I got in a fight with I forget the name of the leech monster inside Resident Evil 0, but I had the Molotov cocktails, which everybody in chat just like, you gotta light them on fire, Scotty. You got it, baby. You gotta tell me twice. And I'm throwing the Molotov cocktails. Well, Billy, and this is right after Rebecca goes in there and just launches it. I mean, just like a professional Major League Baseball pitcher or cricket player. She's just out there just wailing. Well, when Billy goes out there, big bad Billy, gel muscle Billy with his tattoo and his cool ass mullet, he gets in there and he starts throwing and he's immediately hitting the ground. I'm like, Bill, come on, Bill. And we created a character together. And like Resident Evil 2, this was like the 5th or 6th time I was playing the extra mode on this particular map where we're inside of a gas station with the Sheriff Rick guy. And I was losing, and I couldn't get past. You got to defeat like 100 zombies inside of this gas station. And I got into like 73 or 4 several times. And I never, ever get angry in real life. I've been through so much shit. You ain't going to get me mad. But Scotty gets mad because it's Scotty. It's, he just bumbles his way. Whatever. That's Scotty. He's a bumbler. So we was going through there, and I was like, well, maybe if I try a different hat, it'll help me beat it. So I put on like a raccoon hat and was running around, and people was laughing about it. Well, I put on a unicorn hat. And me and my community created Unicorn Rick. And Unicorn Rick's the one that rode into the sunset, baby. He's the one that beat the mission and rainbows and unicorn horns away, baby. He went right there. So there's so much cool stuff. Every single show, there's an opportunity for me and my community to make. Like today, we went on a tangent about bread. And I mean, we probably spent 2 hours renaming movies with bread memes. And now there's a bread meme floating around inside of our Facebook group. That's what I look forward to. More so than the adventures that I go on in the video game is the adventures that I go on together with my community. So my number one favorite thing so far has been the characters we've created. The Janets. For some reason, Scotty calls all the characters he can't remember their names Janet. Guys, gal, it don't matter. If I don't remember your name, I'm going to call you Janet. So the Janets of the worlds, the Billy Can't Throws.
Free Dak Daniels.
Free Dak Daniels, Lizard Brain Andy, silly stuff, just silly stuff. Like, of course, a lizard did come out of space and get into your brain, but maybe you did. Maybe you did steal Dak Daniels. Maybe you did, but
he's not here.
The puzzler could be you, yes. And that's the puzzler. Like there's still, what's up with the puzzler? Who is the puzzler? Is Andy the puzzler? Is there a renegade Dak Daniels that's the puzzler? That's the kind of, and that comes with the storytelling. Scotty Blades is a storyteller. Every single show is a new story to tell, and we get a new story at the end of the show. Like I go back, and I'm like, what? There's so much crap we did. I got to make a video about this. One of them was Silent Hill. I forget the girl's name, Angelina, I think it was, or Mary. No, Maria. Maria is always creepily just right outside your peripherals when you walk through a door. Now she should come in behind you, but she doesn't. When you go through a door, you turn the corner, she's already standing in the stairwell that wasn't lit that you need to see. So now there's this, this flow. I got to make a video about because we created the I forget what we called her, but yeah, stuff like that. So the stories that we tell together as a community every day on the show, best part about it. I don't like taking days off because we're missing memories.
And I definitely get that vibe. I mean, I get that vibe in my own streams, but it's almost on another level because in a way, and it's something that I won't ever be able to accomplish, which I mean, finding a unique selling point of streaming, that is where you need to be, is you can almost get your community to write the story for you.
Oh yeah.
And I think that is, it's such a unique gift that you can, you're playing fucking like me. I play Resident Evil for the 800th time. You're playing Resident Evil, but you've got these things going on. You've got these niches going on. These little one-liners here and there. just talk us through your setup actually, because I think you and while you're talking about it, I'm going to see if I can find the image for our viewers here. Talk about your setup, because I know you briefly mentioned just then that it takes a lot to stream, and I think a lot of people do underestimate how much goes into streaming. It's not just I'm going to sit down, well, I'm going to start streaming. No, it's a lot that goes into it, and I thought my stream was intricate until I saw your setup. So speak about that while I find it here.
Okay, so again, I'm a storyteller, and I want to create stories. Well, I want to create Michael Bay stories. I want the production to be bow, bow, boom, whatever, and explosions and huge stuff. I just want it to be the most incredible experience ever. So me so not smart with technology, because like I said, for the first 11, 12 years of my life, I was kicking indoors and not worried about computers. I was spending late nights, doing alpha tactical team stuff, whatever. But I didn't do computer stuff. So when I decided to do this, I was an investigator for years too. So I started investigating how to do this. I got started. Now, another thing that is a life lesson of mine is that don't prepare, just do. And it'll come to you because you'll learn from experience. So when I started streaming, I started on a 2013 Mac computer in 2019. And Macs, I still have it. It's sitting right here beside of me. Great computer. I highly recommend Apple. Way to go, Apple. But I got started on that. And I got started on like Elgato gaming software. So I had my TV, which is the same TV that my kids play video games on, the same TV that I watch Funhouse at night when I'm trying to go to sleep or whatever. The same TV, and then my Apple computer sitting beside there, and a PlayStation 4. It's the launch PlayStation 4. It sounds like a helicopter when it takes off. I'm sure you hear it during the show because it's you can hear the disc run around inside the tray. But I can't remember how many years old it is either. But that's how I got started, and then I learned, and I wanted to every single time or every single day to do one thing to improve my stream. One thing. So, and plus I have a lot of incredibly generous friends. Like those friends I was telling you about from my community, they gave me mouses to use because I was using a 2012 HP Dell mouse with 2 clickers on it. Well, I had an incredible person from my community come to my home and give me a Logitech top of the line. There's so many gizmos and gadgets on this thing. I'm afraid if I push it, it's going to turn into like a Swiss Army knife and cut my hand off. Like it's an incredible mouse. And then the monitors are given to me from somebody in my community. But so I went out and I got an HP Omen top of the, I don't even know all the specifics on it. But one of my friends in my community helped me build it because he's a tech guru, one of these behind the scene tech guys. But and of course you know this, Andy, but there's 6 or 7 pieces of streaming software that I've got running this. I've got to have fiber internet to make all this run so it can come out in with 1080p format so that you guys get the crispiest stuff on your end of it when you're watching it. So right now I've got if you can find the picture, I've got my main screen TV that I play the games on. I've got a monitor up here for chat because chat's more important to me than anything. I like connecting with the people in the League of Blades. I like chit-chatting with them, having conversations. And
was it on the League of Blades? Was it on your personal? You posted
it was on the League of Blades group. It was on the League of Blades group. And then the other screen, I got all my streaming software. So I run 4 different programs at once. Most people will run one, but I run filters. I run all the green screen cool stuff that you see to immerse you into the world that is Scotty Blades. That's another streaming piece of software. All of my alerts are different streaming piece of software. I got a stream deck with about 89 different applications on it that Dak bumbles through, but it's a little insider Hollywood secret. It's this dumbass pushing the wrong button for the 3rd time. But Dak and Dak's sitting right there. Like Dak, I can keep it up, Dak. You keep the show running nice and smooth for your old pal Scott's. All right, he's sitting right there, and it's me. Like Dak Daniels is Scotty Blades. It's just a clone running around, but yeah. So there's a lot to it. I got a Blue Yeti microphone. That's the number one piece of streamer advice. If there's anybody here watching that's a streamer, there is nothing more important than audio. No matter how bad your video looks, if people can't hear you, they're not going to watch. So the number one most important thing about streaming that I give out to streamers is audio. Have yourself a very good microphone. Super duper important. Super duper important.
Yeah, and that's a very valid point, and it's something that because of how we're growing, how I'm growing, I get a lot of messages from people saying, "No, I want to get on the streaming circuit. How do we do it?" One, it's a lot of talking to yourself.
You better believe it.
You have to learn to talk to a wall,
yep.
Because for the initial growth, that's all it's going to be. I mean, you might have friends that pop in and that, but until you get your first sort of organic community, you're going to really, really struggle to. you have to have like at least base level charisma in a way, assuming that me and you have base level charisma.
Base level charisma, baby.
And on top of that, I'm a very firm believer in you go hard or you go home. I don't believe that there is an in between. If you're going to take this seriously, if you want to take yourself seriously, if you want to grow, you have to be willing to put effort into your stream, your overlays, get a stream deck, get a capture card, because when people see quality, they will follow you and they'll go, oh, this guy's got really nice setup. Or I'm not saying that, people with nice setups, it's got to be a kind of you got to have almost a trifecta of skills to really make it happen. But try not set yourself up on the back foot, get yourself a very, 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 very respectable setup. So at least you're putting yourself in almost the best possible position. I think that would be
Forget what I said about 2013 Mac. Listen to Andy. He's the professional here.
Well, that's it. And I think I've always said that Macs are very, very underrated. I actually purchased a Mac Mini recently. I mean, I've had MacBooks for years and years and years, but I purchased a Mac Mini with the sole intention of editing video and stuff like that. It has its absolute uses, and I think the way that Mac uses its hardware, you could use a Mac for 10 years before it goes redundant, where I can't say the same thing for a Windows computer.
Right.
So on that point, do you consider yourselves kind of because going back and playing all of the Resident Evils for the first time, do you consider yourself an old school Resident Evil fan? Do you prefer the original series, or do you prefer the newer remakes, the Resident Evil 2 remake, the 3 remake, etc.? Give us your thoughts on that.
Okay. Scotty Blades knows. The people who follow Scotty Blades knows is that Scotty does not like the old ones, and that Scotty is a more modern one. He buried Code Veronica out behind Blades HQ under 6 feet of cement, and then had a Dwarven Runecaster come in and put a spell on it and didn't tell Scotty the password so that he couldn't dig it back up. Well, action heroes are dramatic, and Scotty went out there with a sledgehammer and that was magically enchanted and broke it back out and whipped it back out. That's Scotty. That's how Scotty thinks and operates, and keep things simple. Keep things simple, no puzzles. Me, I love the old ones. I love them. I love two. Resident Evil 2, the original, is probably my favorite in the whole series, tied with Resident Evil 0. So it's a mismatch. Like, I played 7. It was the first one that I ever played. And I was like, dude, this is really good. And then I go back and play 1. I'm like, this is pure cheese. It's pure trash, because I was first exposed to 7. So I was thinking that 1 was going to be like 7. Well, my Resident Evil palette grew, and I become sophisticated in all things Resident Evil. And I got to experience what 1 has to offer, and it's really, really good. And I had to experience what 2 has to offer, and it's really, really good. And 3, the original, and it's really, really good. And 0, it's really, really good. So 5 and 6 are trash, but they're fun when you're with. They're fun, and when I say trash, I say it in the most respectful sense, because I had a ton of fun playing 6 and 5 with you. I mean, some of my best memories of playing Resident Evil is playing 5 and 6 with you, because it's fun. It's 2 friends playing games together. That's how video games heal and bring people together. Playing on my own, my favorite Resident Evil is between 0 and 2, the original. My least favorite is probably the original 3, and that does not mean the first 80% of the game. The first 80% of Resident Evil 3, I was sitting there going, toot, baby. I've been missing out, man. This is incredible. And then I got to the worm under the street lamps and the part where you're trying to climb up the elevators. And I've been playing for like 4 hours that day. I was like, I just want to get past this stupid ladder part. And then they hit me with a water puzzle. And the whole show is just like, hey, you better watch out. That water puzzle's tough. We got this. We got this. So we got hit with that. So like the last hour of that show, I was like, I just got to get through these 3 obstacles. And then, the second, third, fourth time Nemesis shows up. Oh my gosh, I got to get through this 4th obstacle or whatever. But honest to goodness, it's a mismatch. I love them all. I really do. I love like I said, 6 and 5 is 2 of the best game experience I ever had, because I got to play with you and had a lot of fun. I love the whole series, but my favorite would have to be either the original Resident Evil 2 or 0. Now, I know that you love Resident Evil 2, the original.
I do.
I've heard people say many times it's your favorite.
Oh, great. Yeah. To me, there is no pure Resident Evil than the second one. But I mean, I very much do like the remakes, I think. And, you had you come into quite a bit of fame by playing the by playing the remakes, the modern remakes.
Yeah.
What did you? Speaking about the newest Resident Evil release, what did you think of Resident Evil 3? And now that you've played the old Resident Evil 3 in a very, very, you played it a lot later in your life for the first time. How does that stack up in your eyes?
So I played 3 before I played the original. I played Remake 3, and I loved it. And everybody's like, it's too short. It is. It's way too short. Capcom, I know Capcom did what they did because of Resistance. They wanted to pour all their money and effort and time this is my personal opinion from looking from the outside looking in. They poured all their money, power, and time into Resistance, hoping that it would be the next Dead by Daylight, hoping that it would be the next 4v1 kind of. If I had another game in mind I was trying to think of, but Dead by Daylight mainly. Dead by Daylight still has an incredible following years and years later. I think the game came out in 2013, 2014, something like that. But they poured all their money and time and effort and production into that, and it didn't take off. I mean, there's still a fan base behind it, and there's still a following behind it, but it's not pull up the Twitch browsing page and see 27,000 people watching it. I don't think you ever see 1,000 people watching Resistance. Same thing on the Facebook gaming page. You pull up the browsing page for games, you see Dead by Daylight with like 7,000 or 8,000 viewers, but you don't see Resistance. And that's nothing that Capcom could have done. The game itself is incredibly fun. And I thought when I first played it, this is it, man. And then I went back and played the original. The original's better. And that's just me. But the original's better. Yeah. I just recently played through 3 Remake again on normal, just going through it just to go through it. And I think the original's better. But I like Remake Carlos a lot better. I think Remake Carlos is badass.
I must admit, I mean, you say what you want about how you feel about Resident Evil 3 Remake, and I've gone into this on stream quite a few times. The Resident Evil 3 Remake Carlos is an absolute sweetheart. They gave Carlos this naivety behind him, but like not this kind of like B-movie naivety. Like he had proper like grit to him. He really wanted to help people.
Not this B-movie naivety. Yeah.
goes without saying.
Yeah.
He wasn't like, all the foxy ladies love my accent or anything like that. He was super serious, wanted to help people, and just got kind of screwed over by Umbrella, really. But yeah, I think, and the voice actor Jeff Shine really put a shift in with Carlos. So you. Speaking about newer Resident Evils, then, we now know that Resident Evil 8 is coming out for the PlayStation 5 in 2021, I believe it was that they announced. I should really know this being a massive Resident Evil resource. What did you? I take it you've seen the trailer, and I know you're a big fan of 7, so it's continuing the Ethan storyline, perhaps with a better Chris Redfield, I would suggest. What was your feelings when you saw the trailer?
So I watched it first here live on Biohazard Classified when you did the oh baby, yeah. I watched it here live for the first time because I consider myself a huge fan of Biohazard Classified. So I love being part of the community here, and I was sitting right here in chat, just oh my god, to do this. Oh, actually, I think I made a joke. I was completely guessing. It was completely lucky on my end. But I said Scotty Blades has got an inside connection. There will be a Resident Evil 8 trailer, and then when it started broadcasting, I was like, I told you. And I was just going by the fact that it was dark and gloomy. I was like, I told you. And then it actually happened. I was like, oh my God, people's going to think I really have connections to Capcom. I do. But anyway, 8, like you said, I love 7. And I love the DLCs on 7, just like I love the DLCs on RE2 Remake more than I love the actual game. I adore the extra mode. And that's what I wish 3 had done for it, RE Remake 3. I wish they had done the extra mode and poured so much more fun and cool content. That's why I like Resident Evil Revelations 1 so much. You get to focus on the people outside of the main family, outside of the Chris and Jills and the Claires and the Leons. There's so many more colorful characters inside of Resident Evil that you don't get to see, and they put a real spotlight on them inside of like Resident Evil Revelations. You get to run around as Pierre, I call him, but his real name's not Pierre, it's something else. But several characters in that game that I love. So in 7, one of the reasons why I like 7 so much is that it's Ethan. It's somebody different. But I like the extra modes the most in 7. I liked running around as Joe Baker. Joe Baker's my freaking boy, man. Like there's the whole game in 7, you run around going, oh my God, it's the moth monsters or the whatever they are. And then Joe goes up there and just punches him in the freaking face. Just beats the crap out of him.
He's quite literally Scotty Blades in a game.
It's if I could put flannel on the man, it would be me, baby. I tuck those things in way deep so he gets superpowers. You got to tuck your flannel in. League of Blades. If you want to wear flannel, it's +2 chant against evil. You got to tuck it real deep, just like Roddy Piper did in They Live. But anyway, so I like the the poker game. We made 2 shows out of the poker game alone, playing against not Jack, not Seth. What's his name? Lucas. Playing against Lucas. We made 2 shows out of that, 2 4-hour shows, because it was so much fun playing 21 against that knucklehead. We kept upping the ante and making it more difficult. The Chris, the Not a Hero, I loved it. I thought it was fun. Now, it was a weird version of Chris. But it was
Hashtag not my Redfield.
But it was like, I loved it. I thought it was fun. But I always say this, to each their own. Like, some people's like, you can't say Code Veronica's trash. I can, but that don't mean the game is trash.
Yeah.
It's just trash to me. It does not mean the game is trash. I can respect the fact that Code Veronica is an incredible game. It's just not for me. Just like several other games is not for me, but they may be for you, and that's okay. That's not a big deal. But 8, the only thing that disappoints me about 8 from what I've seen is that the Countess is supposed to be another bug boss fight. I was like, we've already had a bug boss fight. We fought Margaret back at the cabin. We don't need another buggy mama boss fight. Give her something unique. Make her something cool or stand outish. But that's my understanding. Is that kind of what you've seen, Annie? I think the actual article said that it's going to be another bug boss fight. Something like that.
it's gonna have like
I don't know about that.
Like a swarm and all stuff like that.
We've already had that.
But again, the leaks that we've gone out of our way to kind of get out there, they are still very much hearsay at this point. It makes sense, but our information was from people that played a play test back in September and March. We know for a fact Resident Evil just loves throwing the baby out with the bathwater every time it doesn't like something. We've seen this with Resident Evil 2. We've seen this with Resident Evil 4. We've seen this with so many different Resident Evil games. It would not shock me if most of what you've seen in the trailer, and actually I would implore you, Scotty, I would implore you to check out the Resident Evil Revelations trailer. The E3 trailer that got announced, because you said yourself you really enjoyed Resident Evil Revelations, so
a lot.
Obviously you have a deep understanding of the game and what direction it went and everything like that. I implore you to watch the. I'd play it, but I got copyright strike last time.
It's a thing, ain't it?
Always the way. I'd implore you to check it out, because the trailer was in such a different direction. You're like, well, I didn't see that in the game. It had like Chris versus Jill, and Hunk was in it. He was sitting in a chair,
Hunk,
and it was just absolutely fun. Do you know what? Off air, I'll send you it, and you'll be like,
okay,
what the hell? This is absolutely not Resident Evil Revelations, what it turned out being. So, it's still early things at the moment. We do know a bit. We do know a bit about the different characters, but I wouldn't be shocked if they changed it and made it third person and put tank controls in it next, because that's just what Capcom does. It changes its mind on an absolute whim, unfortunately. It's just one of those things.
Still a great game.
So what are you working on now, Scotty?
What am I working on? Working wise, so we're getting our YouTube more up and running. I am working with some other content creators to do, because we're turning into a variety channel, but I like variety. Variety is the spice of life, and there's a lot of heroes out there. And Scotty's a hero for hire. So if Zelda calls and he needs help in Hyrule, or not Zelda, if Link calls and needs help in Hyrule, Scotty will answer. And the League of Blades will go to Hyrule and run around and save the kingdom from Ganondorf. If Snake from Metal Gear Solid calls and is like, hey, I need Scotty Blades to come out here and help me fight Shadow Moses. Well, guess what? Scotty Blades and League of Blades is going to suit up. We're going to walk through the portal here at Blades HQ, and we're going to there and fighting the Sons of the Patriots and going to 3 and 4. So we're turning into a variety channel, but on our YouTube, we're focused on doing some other kind of survival stuff. We got The Mist up there on our YouTube channel right now. I'm recording with another guy that we're doing Green Hell. It's actually a brand new Facebook gamer right here on Facebook Gaming, Whiskey Tony Foxtrot. He just went live last night for the first time. So recording some stuff with him. Oh yeah, he's great. He's great peeps. He's one of the people behind my creative team that kind of helps me keep things up and running. So, yeah. So recording some stuff with him, playing some Green Hell. So we're focusing a lot on our YouTube. Our Discord's growing way bueno fast. We had movie night for the first time last night on Discord. It was an absolute blast. People are learning the app. They're kind of like me. I'm still learning the app, and I've only had it for like 3 months. But we got movie night there. We got our supporters up and running. Got a lot of really cool, awesome content for our supporters in the future. So working on that pretty well every minute that I'm not on live streaming, and just trying to grow the channel. Really, it's a weird platform, but I guess it's best. The There's no ceiling for the Scotty Blades channel. I'm just going to keep pushing it because the more I push it, the more smiles we get out of it.
And it goes without saying, you know, I'm grateful that we've had the opportunity to have kind of a candid conversation here. And I remembered pitching it to you, a couple of months ago. You said, I'm not quite ready. I want to keep, as they say in wrestling, I want to keep the kayfabe. I want to keep the illusion.
Yeah.
And I think it wasn't me. It was actually your wife that ruined the illusion.
What does she know?
Give us a bit of backstory for that, because that's an absolutely hilarious incident.
All right. So my wife has got a TikTok. It's Ember, and she's going to smack me upside the head for not remembering the name of it, but I don't do TikTok much either. I'm on social media stuff I'm learning how to do, but she's got a TikTok. And Andy's mentioned several times that she's the biggest supporter I have, as she is. And if you're streaming for 6 or 8 hours at a time, and Andy knows this, you're sitting here in front of a camera. And if you step away from the show, people want to see a show. And if you step away from the show, then people disappear. And you don't want that. You want entertainment constantly. So if you're sitting here for 6 or 8 hours at a time, you get a little hungry. You get a little rumbly tumbly in your bell. And my wife, on one instance, decided to make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which was delicious, by the way. If you're watching Emily, it was very delicious. And she brought it in here and she cut it up because I have a beard. It's thick, it's tethered, and it gets in my mouth a lot when I eat. And I joke all the time as being Scotty Blades is eating Arby's cheese sandwiches and getting the cheese sauce stuck in my beard, and it really does. So she knew this would be a thing, and she didn't want peanut butter and jelly being all in my beard during the show. So she brought me a cut up sandwich. And a sandwich, normally like dimension-wise, I don't know how people make dimensions everywhere else, but dimension-wise, about that big. Well, she cut it that big. And it was like 5 easy-to-chew pieces. Well, she has a TikTok channel, and she decided to do a segment called Gamer Wife, where it shows the behind the scenes of taking care of a full-time streamer, which I am. So she came in and she gave me my sandwich, and she recorded it, and she put it on the TikTok, and it exploded. I think it's up to over 500,000 views or something like that, or maybe more. I may be underselling it. Maybe up like 700,000 views now. It exploded. And a lot of these people who watched this video wanted to find out who this Scotty Blades guy was. So they started jumping into my stream and saying, yeah, who else is here from TikTok? And nobody would say anything when they say that. They said, I'm here from your wife's TikTok to say hello. Well, the community had no idea that I had a wife. And Scotty Blades does not have a wife, but this Scotty does. So people in the chat were just starting to conspire and going, what is this person talking about? What is this wife thing they keep talking about? And we had a discussion, and this was after me and you talked about doing one. And I was like, I don't want to pull away the magic that is Scotty, because when I put that flannel on, I'm Scotty Blades, and the real Scotty disappears. But Scotty Blades is real to me, and he's real to everybody out there in the world because he's a hero. So I didn't want to break the movie magic wall that separated me from the character. But at the same time, there's this TikTok video going viral that you saw too. There's one of me sitting beside a pool, and she says, "Look, Dr. Disrespect." I turned around and said, "No, the hell I don't." Well, that took off too. Got like 500,000 views or something like that. So all these TikTok fans are jumping in and saying hi, and the community's like, "Who is this wife they keep talking about?" So we talked about it. We're like, "Yeah, it's time that." And what better place to do it than on Biohazard Declassified with my old pal Andy? So I was like, "Yeah, heck yeah, man! First time this has ever been done." And probably the last time.
Yeah, no,
because I got too emotional like 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, it goes without saying. Like, again, don't want to catch you off guard. No, it goes without saying. I'm super grateful that you've been as open and as honest, because it's one of them things. Like, I don't want to jeopardize your creative integrity here, and I don't want to. I don't want to, pull the curtain back and. But it happened with wrestling. It happened with wrestling back in the 80s and 90s. People give interviews all the time out of character. So I think this is absolutely glorious. People, and I believe this. People want to see who Scotty Blades is, not just Scotty Blades the character, but who is the person.
Yeah. Well, Superman's got Clark Kent, and Batman's got Bruce Wayne, and Scotty Blades has got Scotty last name redacted. So yeah, it needed to be done.
Yeah. And what is it? What has it been like? And I don't expect you to pull out your tax returns or anything like that.
Wait.
But 2 seconds. What has it been like being a full-time streamer? Because it's always very much, pie in the sky. I
Yeah.
wish I could do this full time.
Yeah.
What has it been for you? What's it been for your family? Kind of becoming this. I mean, our parents, our grandparents, there was no such thing as a full time streamer. This is like a really new concept that I still believe nobody understands. I actually told people at work for the first time the other day that I streamed on Facebook, and they went, "People watch you play games. That's just weird." Like,
Yeah.
so what's that like? I mean, when you tell people at the family barbecue and that sort of thing.
So it wasn't complicated, but it was the last possible thing that anybody thought that me would be doing. And that's because of, like I said, in my background, I was a TAC team commander. Like, I was the head of a tactical unit. I shot guns and lifted weights. I was an amateur power lifter. I trained in jiu-jitsu. I was a collegiate and high school wrestler. But I also watched Dragon Ball Z when nobody was watching. And I also read all the Lord of the Rings books. So, but in order to succeed in this alpha macho world that I was in, which it very much was, you had to walk the walk and talk the talk to kick in a guy's door that had an AK-47 waiting for you on the other side and say, "Hey, you're coming with me for the next 20 years behind bars." Normally they don't like to hear that, and they don't always come out peacefully. So the people closest to me enjoy it. And they enjoy it because I am no longer in law enforcement. I'm retired. I'm out of it. I'm gone. And that was an incredibly dangerous profession that I was in, because I was doing the most high profile of all high profile jobs, and I was doing it every day, all day. So friends and family close loved it. Like, you mean to tell me that we ain't got to worry about you never seeing you again? Nah, ain't got to worry about it. I'm at home all day, every day, baby. And they say, heck yeah. The people that I worked with in that line of work, I've not talked to many of them. And I probably had hundreds and hundreds of friends in that line of work. And since I have left that line of work, I may have talked to two. And like you said, it's a very cultural change to go from, wasn't you the guy that jumped out of a helicopter the other day and rappelled down? Yeah, that was. And now you're doing it on a video game? Yeah. And that's your job? Yeah.
Well, you got to think as well, like, as I said, our parents, our grandparents, they're miners, but they're working in industry and that sort of thing. And, we don't know where this is going to go. So it's
the future. This is the future, though. Entertainment at home, especially because I don't think this pandemic's going away anytime soon. No. So this is going to be the new norm. There's a lot of people working from home anyway, doing stuff like what me and you did. Like, I could have been an investigator from home. That's no problem. But this is the future right here. This is going to become more of a market. But like I said, my mom and dad and grandparents loved it because, again, they weren't laying in bed twiddling their thumbs at 2 o'clock in the morning hoping I'm okay and why I'm not answering my phone and stuff like that. They know I'm sitting here farting and eating hot fries and drinking Kool-Aid and watching whatever. So, yeah.
No, it is. I suppose it is in that regard. It's safe. But I do have this image of like a dark silhouette of a mob boss sitting stroking his cat, and he's watching a Scotty Blades stream. He's going, "That motherfucker, I know who that is." He busted all my boys.
Well, I have actually had a couple people from my past that have jumped in and said something along that line. It was quickly taken care of. But yeah, so that's another reason why I won't go completely and name names about, because I still got some stuff going on from that past life that I can't talk about still to this day. It'll probably be confidential forever. So, but yeah, there really has. There's been people that's been like, "You got to be effing me. You're the guy that did that. You knocked my brother Billy off that bridge and he broke his leg." So, yeah, well, listen, yeah, whatever. So, yeah.
Send me stars.
Yeah. Hey, love you. Join League of Blades.
And what's that been like? I mean, I've never really had people commit, and I don't want to get into. I don't want to. Again, I don't want you to tell us your tax returns or anything like that.
I got them right here.
Look, hang on, addressed to the League of Blades HQ. But what's that been like? I mean, just like anything, we're all still learning here. We're all still learning this new platform. What's it been like? Somebody going out of their way to support you through the Facebook supporter program. What's that been like? And what are the benefits of joining the you're looking for Blade Masters, is it?
Yeah, Blade Masters. Yeah. So none of this is possible without your community. I could not be sitting here right now doing what I'm doing without my community. And they're the reason why I'm here today. And so I have never, in that profession that I was in, I was told I was a very hut man. Hut. Show up at 8 o'clock today, put on your vest, here's your rifle, go over there, get that guy, bring him back. Hut. Well, this is not hut. And even though I was a boss in that profession, I'm my own boss now, but I'm a boss that relies on people to like me. And it's been a completely flip-flop, but to be able to describe, it's like a tip is basically what it kind of comes down to. Is like I'm sitting here performing as hard as I can, and when you see them stars pop up, that means somebody's enjoying it. And it means everything. Like I can't describe how much it means. That means somebody out there is taking their time and money and investing it into me. So that inspires me to work even harder. If anything, it's like putting kindling into a fire. Every time that happens, my fire burns brighter, and I try even harder, and I try to do even more, and all of it gets invested right back into the show. When I retired from that profession, I had an idea that retirement was coming, so I've got an opportunity. I got a nest egg to lean back on, but that nest egg won't last forever.
Yeah.
And having the community show up the way they do, my community is the reason why I can do this full time. My community is the most. It's this, and my community and your community is integrated because it's the Resident Evil, the survival horror, the video game community. So it's hard to describe. But Blade Master, what you get if you become a Blade Master is you get. So all of us adventurers, all of us heroes, we go through adventures and challenges and obstacles every week. You've earned your stripes, hero. If you become a Blade Master, you earn your stripes. We have a special place inside of the Blades HQ where, almost like Valhalla for the old Vikings, you've earned your stripes, warrior. You can come to the Hall of Heroes and take your seat among other Blade Masters. And you get all the cool stuff that comes with supporters. You get the exclusive content with the Facebook group. You get special shout outs. You get we're doing supporter games very soon, which is going to be a ton of fun. I'm going to be doing a lot of unique videos and VODs. A lot of our community members get to post up there. They don't get to see anywhere else. So a lot of exclusivity that comes from it. But the most important thing is it helps me keep doing this full time. It supports me. So it's been incredible. And we didn't have it for the longest time, and that's okay, because my number one mission and goal was to make smiles and laugh. So, but it finally came, and it's been an incredible experience. Every single day that I go live, I am humbled and I am honored by the real heroes out there who could continue to allow me to be a hero online. So it's been an incredible experience.
Yeah, and it's been absolutely fantastic for us as well. There's just going from stars, and people are actually, I mean, I'm still blown away that people send stars and stuff like that. It really kind of validates your streams in a way that
exactly
people feel so part of your.
Yes.
If they feel so part of your streams, they feel so part of the community. And that's what I've always prided myself on, the kind of community element. I've had people coming in and, this podcast's been wild. We've been laughing. We've been crying. It's been absolutely.
I didn't think the spectrum would go that, but it's been real, dude. It's been real. It's been a lot of fun.
And that's the message I wanted to really, really hammer home was it doesn't matter about what's going on. We're people too.
Yeah.
We're here to build a community of people, and I really believe that especially during the pandemic, a lot of people have come in. Well, even just in general, people come in like yourself. They've had a lot of hardships, which I won't wish on my absolute worst enemy. And they've gone, my parents are ill, etc., etc. I'm going for a really tough time, but for that hour and a half, that 2 hours, I was happy.
Yeah.
And when I look over and I see that, like, there is no greater, like when you hear a baby cry, well, it's meant to be the best feeling in the world. There's no better feeling than when someone jumps in the chat and they're just happy to be there, because it's a shit, especially now, man. Look, everyone in the world is locked in, which will never happen again. Didn't happen to our parents, didn't happen to our grandparents. And both sides of the world were doing exactly the same thing. And for my mental health, in a way, it's been really, really, I've been trapped in most days by myself, it's well, obviously me and my partner, but yeah, it's just good to unwind a little bit.
Yeah.
I think so. I think's the right word. What's it been like? What's how's the coronavirus been at your neck of the woods? I don't expect you to dox yourself, but I mean, give us a region.
Well, regionally, I'm up in the Blue Ridge Mountains, which you would think a mountain community like what I live in. I live in a small community, and when the Blades HQ, when I say it's on top of a mountain, it literally is. Blades HQ, the actual residence is on top of a mountain. So you would think that a small mountain community like what I live in, and my voice is not an act. I grew up in the cities, and I've lived my adult life in the country, and I like wearing flannel, and I like going out in the woods, and I like it being cold most year round, and I like the trees, I like the grass, and I like the animals and all that crap. So anyway, you'd think a small community like what I live in would have a lot less with the stuff that you would have, but it's actually probably one of the worst areas. We've been on the news, the location that I live at. That's how bad it is. And since my son got sick, we don't leave the house much because his immunity is compromised. So since 2016, other than work, the family don't leave the house very much. So when this happened, we're like, nothing new.
Such a different day, yeah.
Nothing new for us. I mean, all you do is go to the window and go, sun came up today. Hell yeah. And you go back and sit down and you keep on going. The next day, do the same thing again. So, but the location that I'm in, we're back to phase 1 again. Now, one of the challenges that I did in my community, which again, making memories, is we made a Billy Blades challenge. And one of those 2 of the challenges was one for me to grow a mullet, which I'm very close to.
Yeah, just give us a whirl. Glorious.
Yeah. It's grown out a little bit since last week. I'll probably tune it down or trim it back a little bit. But the other one is to get a tattoo, a unique tattoo that's unique to our channel and unique to our community. And it was set to be in September. Well, the area that we're in is back to phase 1, which means no more restaurants, no more tattoo parlors, no more stuff like that. So it's been postponed a little bit. But yeah, the area that I'm in, we dialed it back, baby. We're back in phase 1 again. So it's locked down. It's masks everywhere, which it should have been from the beginning, but it's masks everywhere and stuff like that. So yeah, but I wouldn't know. Me and my family don't leave the house.
But again, it sounds like you're very close with your family. From a very close knit community. And I've always said I'm going to get a few brownie points from your wife here, but behind every great man is always a great woman. So
spoken like a spoken. I would not. My community keeps me here. But the person who roots for me the hardest of anybody, sometimes shows will go and you walk out and you're like, man, I blew it today, or whatever. I'll walk outside and she'll always say, remember how it was before, and remember how it was at the beginning. And she's my biggest cheerleader, and she's my biggest supporter, and she's my biggest rah in the corner. But she levels me out. Like I'm not an emotional guy, but I am. It's never good enough guy. Like. I pour all this content and pour all this work into making sure the show is good, and then I'll step out after the show. I'm like, I could have done this better, and I could have done this better, and I could have done. And she'll humble me, and hey, listen, Scotty, and she'll bring me back down to earth, and that's what I need in my life, and that's what a lot of people need in their life. And I'm blessed because I have that. I have that person to take me from 11 back down to 6, and then feed me peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Absolute glorious. And on that point about TikTok, when you initially said, I was like, what do you mean you're viral on TikTok? And I actually went on your wife's TikTok and I saw one of the viral videos that I'd just seen as I was scrolling through. I was like, oh my God, I know that. Because I saw your dumb ass in the background.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely glorious. And if me and you could take one thing out of this, is that like I really feel like we kind of bonded. We have this
every time.
We have this very unique position where, like, you're not a viewer watching, you're another content creator. Yeah. So it's like I can tell people, and had 10 viewers in, but they won't other people won't get it until you've been in that grind and you've been behind, you're in front of the camera.
Yeah.
So I really feel, and it goes without saying, once this is all said and done, there will be a meetup. Goes without saying. At this point.
I loved you before the stream, and I love you every time I talk to you. I love you even more. So it's brotherly love. Yeah.
So I know you said that it's as far you can take the ball and run as far as you can with it.
Yeah.
But what what is next for Scotty Blades? Like a milestone.
Oh, milestone. I like to get to 50,000 followers. That'd be pretty incredible. I like to be I'd be up there at the old Biohazard Declassified level, baby. You get up there, and because at 50,000 followers, that means it's 50,000 people that I could potentially reach with a smile. And that's the number one thing. So the next milestone is 50,000 followers. If we can get 50,000 followers, I've took a good chunk of entertainment, put it out there, and made a lot of people happy. I hope.
So aside from Facebook, where can we find you? Social media.
So social media is still new to me, but I'm on all the cool ones. I'm on Twits at Blade Scotty. I actually post a lot on Twitter, so Twitter's a good place to go where I post stuff that's got nothing to do with anything. But Twitter's a good place at Blade Scotty. Instagram, I'm Scotty Blade 403 because some other lunatic on Instagram was Scotty Blades too. So there's two Scotty Blades out there somewhere in the world. So I'm Scotty Blades 403 on Instagram. We are also over on YouTube. It's Scotty Blade or Blades. It's kind of a running joke. Sometimes I add S's and sometimes I don't, and I've never changed it because I think it's funny. So we're on YouTube. We're Scotty Blades or Scotty Blade. No, there's no other Scotty Blades on YouTube, so you can look it up. So YouTube, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok. Scotty Blade on TikTok. Yeah, Scotty Blade on TikTok. And we've had a few successful videos on there. And then, of course, I'm here at home, baby. Facebook gaming at Real Scotty Blades right there at the bottom of the screen. So.
No, glorious. Well, I am more than grateful that you.
The honor's all mine, man. Honor's all mine.
This is. I really feel like this is only the start of Scotty Blades. What you've got here is something you've captured that's very special, and that you're not yourself when you play. You're a very unique character who's almost an extension of yourself. So you have as you write and what you said, you've got the potential to absolutely just take the ball and run with it as far as you can. And I'm absolutely humbled to be joining you on this journey. It really man.
That's right. Tango and Cash, Andy and Scott.
Is there anything you want to say before we wrap up here, Scotty?
Just go forth in the world, everybody, and do good, because you know very good and well the world needs heroes.
Indeed. Well, this has been the Biohazard Declassified podcast. Thank you all for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you all in the next one.